You're talking of office spaces na magkaroon ka ng void eh. Then you have lots of vacancies there. And it's not easy to fill that up right now. So ito tingin ko will lag until the first quarter. Kasi you want to see the smoke clear before you go back to that ano no. Kaya partly okay din 'yan because walang construction, good 'yan sa real estate kasi yung excess supply mo mahabol no. Ang concern ko is that people would have changed the way of doing things, and even firms and companies, if they realize work from home is feasible, why do you want to bring them back?
Yung pag-akyat ba, is that purely optimism for what it could be later on? Or you fear that umakyat siya, medyo hindi supported the numbers, we may see a drop also later on as well?
Yeah, it can go both ways, Marvin, no. Yung I'm going to the negative muna kasi tama ka doon, no, because the numbers will not match when the reporting comes. Ang laki ng tinaas ito pero yung revenue nito hindi naman lumaki or nag-contract pa. So that means there will be some challenges there, no? Eventually, in valuation, magiging very expensive yung mga stocks na to if they maintain the current level of prices without the necessary revenue na pumapasok. That is what I am concerned about. Kung sobrang bilis ng pag-grow.
All the while, no, we all had this notion na hindi na sila magbababa ulit eh. Tapos suddenly, last week, biglang nagulat lahat na nagbaba sila by 25 basis points. Was this in response to everything that you said that they just really wanted to add that additional layer also to help the economy as well?
Monetary policy can only do two things, di ba? To cut interest rate or to raise interest rate. Yun lang yan. So, wala naman silang ibang lever na magagawa. No? Because even if they lend money, they're just increasing interest or lowering interest rate, parang ganyan, or cutting. The net effect is the same. Actually, pareho tayo. Everybody's expecting. I mean, ako expected that they will no longer cut the rates for even until next year. Why? Because the take-up of the liquidity is so low. The take-up of the liquidity is so low. I'm going to connect this, Marvin, dun sa dun sa rising of the markets and not only the stock market, also bonds, real estate, some kind of weird, no, maasang presyo. So, because that's the problem, no? You have liquidity, you have flooded the market. Sobrang liquid na ng market, dami ng money in circulation. But it's not going to the economic activity that the BSP wanted. So they want lower interest rates so that the firms will start borrowing again. But the banks also are very careful in lending, no? 50,000 dati, hindi na yata pinag-uusapan niya, pautangin ka na kaagad. Ngayon, ang tagal. We had the survey, look at the survey of ADB, no? They surveyed firms who want to borrow at least 50,000. Compare 1 year ago, they said it's difficult to even borrow 50,000 now from financial institutions. So there's really some kind of a challenge in confidence. Both sides, no? The borrower and the lender, they're hesitating to borrow. So the BSP, parang ano to, no? Parang it's like a surprise move, no? Parang ano, alam mo, nagdi-dribble lang siya tapos bigla siyang nag-slam dunk. So parang na-shock lahat, no? So anong gagawin natin ngayon? Ang tingin ko doon, the implication was that the lower the interest rates, ini-entice niya yung talaga yung mga tao mag-borrow, yung lalo na yung SMEs and the banks to lend, because there's no point na holding on to that liquidity in you. Dapat si BSP rin hindi siya masyado mag-issue ng SDA para talagang. Kaya lang, ang daming liquidity sobra, yun ang challenge nila. So, government ang nakikinabang. They keep on raising treasury bills, di ba? Every week. Oversubscribe palagi. Tapos and you see record bond raisers, di ba? Ang dami. I think as of September, na yung bond values ng corporate bonds and bank bonds are already over the full year of 2019. No? Sobrang dami pang nakapila ngayon na magre-release ng bonds. So, plus, as I mentioned, di ba, there was a surprise. The real estate price index went up highest in the second quarter. It was an incredible data that came out, and the explanation was, you are liquid and you cannot put your money anywhere. Interest rates are low. Why not buy those condominiums that are no longer being bought at bumababa yung price? So, nag-agawan pa yung mga may liquid, di ba? Yung may pera. So, a plausible explanation, but not sustainable, right? So, kasi the prices are still weakening. So, you cannot enter the market when the prices are still weakening in those. Kaya, in a way, I think that was the reason why it helped push the stock market as well. Excess liquidity talaga. Na at some point, yun yung sinasabi ko, that excess liquidity cannot remain excess. I mean, it has to go to some real concrete valuation, no? To create new value. Otherwise, nagpapump ka ng air, no? Pump ka ng air. So the BSP sends that kind of a message, that we are still willing to gamble on more liquidity. And parang sana shock yung mga tao. So siguro naman, magpapautang na yung bank at yung mga maliliit na company will start borrowing now.
Sa lahat na nangyayari, yung magbe-benefit nun, mga listed companies, tsaka yung malalaki na rin talaga kasi number one, you said, yung bond rates, ay yung mga bonds, ang daming bonds. So, sino rin dun? Yung mga malalaki yung nag-i-issue ng bonds that they get to borrow cheap, lumalakas ulit yung balance sheet nila. So, they have the ability to spend, they have the ability to pay their employees. And second is, I mentioned banks because napansin ko, bumababa yung rates, pero yung home loan rate, yung car rate, pag nag-loan ka na kotse, hindi bumababa. So their margins just become bigger. Is that a good way to look at it na kung investor ka, dun ka pa rin sa malalaki because they have the ability to borrow cheap and papahiramin sila. And second, pag naglabas sila ba, nag-unan pa yung mga tao na kumuha ng bond nila, then margins ng bangko, bumababa nga, pero lumalaki lang din lalo yung margins nila.
That's right. Kasi yung mga banks din naman, di naman na sila pwedeng magbaba pa ng the current rates ng kanilang consumer lending are very low already. Pag bumaba yan, syempre it will eat up to their margins na. No? So, maliit na nga yung margin, maliliit pa. So, willing na lang sila na no new borrowers kesa kainin yung margin. Parang ganun eh. That's the message they're sending us eh. And they're and the way they are performing, they're telling us that our business is okay. We're not really like, you don't, kaya nga sabi ko, the financial sector relatively okay. So but yung ibang sector, yun nga, yung mga big caps lang talaga ang makikinabang dito. And that's why yun ang ano ko. How do you channel it to the others? Kasi hopefully the big caps that they are continuing to operate, they pull up the others through their own value chains, no? May mga value chains naman sila eh. So yun sana yung panghila natin. It could go many ways eh. Kaya nga I think the wisdom of the BSP is that kung ayaw nyo mag-borrow, the big caps will borrow and then they will tell you, we have business, so you operate again. So wala kaming pera, o kami bahala sa inyo. Kasi ayaw nyo eh, di ba? So kailangan may galawin si BSP o yung government na parang sobrang baba, hindi pwede nating sayangin to. We have to take the opportunity to use the liquidity to generate economic activities. Kaya gulat nga ako, pati mga may mga nagfo-float ng bonds na mga before, hindi naman mga nagfo-float, no? Parang, wow, ibig sabihin, nakita lang sobrang baba ng interest eh.
I think
it's a good time to float funds.
I think that's what makes this crisis different kasi nung mga crises before, the rates were high. Ngayon, bumababa yung rates kaya medyo it's a different type of scenario also. One of the things na tinitingnan natin for the economy to get better is yung pag-open ng economy, unti-unti pag-open ng economy. And second is yung vaccine. Ngayon, meron ng news about Pfizer and yung pag-release ng vaccine. Pero optimistically also, mukhang pa yan, third quarter, fourth quarter, 2021 pa dadating. Is the optimism of the vaccine enough? Or do we really have to see the vaccine be spread to arrive here sa Philippines before we really see life to get back to normal. Kasi the reason why I asked that, kung huli naman tayo magkaka-vaccine, kung nagkaroon ng vaccine yung buong mundo, di parang kahit di na tayo nag-vaccine kasi meron ng vaccine lahat, hindi ka na makahawa sa kanila. So I think travel will normally essentially go back also than as compared to nasa tayo ngayon.
Yeah, tama 'yon. Critical yung vaccine eh. Kaya lang one step pa lang 'yon, no? The having a vaccine is one step. The next question is acquiring it, storing it, and distributing it. Three more steps, which is more critical. Yung first step lang yung finding having a vaccine. Well, even the US have a challenge there, no? Kasi the prioritization, the acquiring the vaccine, the prioritization. Who will pay for it? Maraming maraming kailangan kang tignan. But ako, I'm more challenged in the ability of any country to store that huge quantity of vaccine. Ang laki. Sobrang dami. So, may storage capacity ba? Dapat ngayon pa lang nagpe-prepare na lahat ng country, no? How do you store that? And how do you deliver that, no? Actually, yung delivery pa lang okay na sa mga airline yan eh. Punong-puno na yung mga cargo nila. Pero very very delicate. And so, but how do you store that? Saan mo siya ilalagay? Right? It cannot be that it can be stored only in one place. No, it has to be distributed again from one country. Then, for example, dumating sa Manila or sa Cebu, paano mo i-distribute sa iba-ibang probinsya? Yeah. Yun. And I learned, no, I read the Pfizer report. -70 yung kailangan niya.
Malamig, diba?
Wala tayong freezer na ganyan na available, no? I think kahit yung mga freezing natin, -23, 24 lang eh. So it would take another expenditure so ang tanong diyan, ano bang mas maraming makukuha tayo, yung Pfizer ba, Moderna ba? So it depends on the vaccine that we will get. So para sa akin, we don't have to wait for the vaccine for life to like continue to thrive. Like what we are doing right now, basta importante mag-thrive tayo in this situation. Sanay na tayo eh. And even if we have the vaccine, ang kailangan 60% ng population ang ma-inoculate bago magiging herd immunity eh. Diba? So, it will take time. So, tama ka, no? Third quarter, fourth quarter, optimistic pa yon. Baka dadating na sa second quarter, pero ilan lang. Diba? And then, patagal pa bago lahat mabigyan. So, talagang pinaka-best scenario dito is we're looking at the first quarter of 2022 na okay na. I mean, medyo na-distribute na siya lahat. May majority na or malakas na yung confidence. But within the next year, what are we going to do while waiting? We have to may confidence na eh. That's why sabi ko critical yung gagawin ng government to put some stimulus and yung business to work together. And the BSP is right, no? So yung ginawa niya ngayon, sinyak niya. So dapat yun mag-usap-usap na. No, ito na, nag-cut na, may marami ng liquidity. So ikaw for large cap, anong gagawin mo? Government, ano yung part mo? Kasi the reality is the budget of the government na increase maliit lang eh. So they have to refocus that to more more kind of support to the firms. The economy is moving because online activities are very strong. But it's not captured in the economy. Well, kung hindi ka nag-register, hindi register yung mga company, yung mga na-engage dyan, wala eh. It's not going to add to the total value of the economy, and that's why yung digitalization process, it's the future but it's already here. So we have to, the faster we adapt to that. Ito yung tingin ko, this year, next year would be a year to digitalize. Digitalize almost everything. Kung pwede lang lahat ng government, lahat ng kailangan natin mag-apply, lahat digital na. So that will be a big boost to the economy.
Got it. Ang laki nga na accelerate nito kasi even before, yung I would travel going to Alabang, kailangan mo ng RFID doon. Matagal na pinupush ng San Miguel na RFID na lang lahat. Tapos it was so hard to get everyone to get an RFID. Ngayon, parang because of this, everyone now has to get an RFID also. So, paano yung informal na ganun? Won't it come out in a certain way also yung numbers na yun? Meaning, kahit hindi sila naka-register, pero mag-upgrade sila ng laptop, bibili pa rin sila laptop sa isang company na registered. So parang the money will flow somewhere else na mariregister pa rin siya. Or okay sila, bibili sila kotse. Parang it will still flow into something na registered also. Is that...
Yeah, lalabas naman yon.
Okay.
Lalabas. Kaya lang, hindi siya accurately covered. Kasi that's why our GDP, meron siya tinatawag na statistical discrepancy. Yun yung unaccounted for.
Got it.
Sayang di ba? At saka, pagka-accounted siya, yung multiplier niya mas malaki pa. It can go to other sectors as well. Not only to bumili lang ng kotse. Paano yung iba pa niyang ginawa na binili niya sa isa unregistered or ang value chain niya puro unregistered sila. So, missing link sila.
We talked about sectors before. Sino yung sa tingin mo nag-move up na medyo dati you were placing them laggard. Ngayon, you think that they're better off already 8 months into the lockdown. Tapos sino naman tingin mo nag-digress also, and then we'll just end it with that.
Yung sa expectation ko, ang mag-move up talaga construction, But naging laggard sila. They're laggard right now. But I believe they will eventually catch up kasi kailangan sila. They need to, you need to boost economic activity through infrastructure. I wasn't expecting, as I mentioned earlier, manufacturing. Yun, surprising yun. And I'm glad they're up to speed. They're more than up to the speed that I expected. Mas bilisan pa nila, mas maganda. As I said, may kinalaman ito sa value chain sa China, tsaka sa ASEAN, which are all being pulled up now. So, eventually, exports will follow. Yung exports, mabilis din. Iniisip ko, mga next year pa pero the pace they are, okay na. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung 20% of the economy hindi alam, they don't know where to place the 20%. This is partly, nakikita natin na apektuhan dito real estate. Kasi, of course, not all sectors of the real estate, but you're talking of commercial, you're talking of office spaces, na nagkaroon ka ng void then you have lots of vacancies there. And it's not easy to fill that up right now. So, ito, tingin ko will lag until the first quarter. Kasi, you want to see the smoke clear before you go back to that Kaya, partly okay din yan because walang construction, good yan sa real estate kasi yung excess supply mo mahabol, Ang concern ko is that people would have changed the way of doing things, and even firms and companies, if they realize work from home is feasible, why do you want to bring them back?
And I've seen it also meron talaga nagbawas na talaga ng floor and para magiging work from home, di naman every day, pero parang magkakaroon ng certain number of days na lang na kailangan mag-report sa office also.
That's right. Even after the pandemic, yung sinasabi ko, yung digitalization will change a lot. Many spaces will not be necessary. They have to be repurposed, Mas maganda ngayon, mga warehousing, logistics, yan ang mga kailangan ngayon. Na the near term would go that way, and over the long term ganyan na magiging inunahan na yan nila Amazon di ba, ganyan na sila sa US So even before the pandemic, many Macy's, Sears, they're closing down kasi wala na nagpupunta So parang ganyan din ang mangyayari. A lot of retail spaces would have to be converted to something else.
Tapos exports being revitalized pero mababa yung peso against the dollar, is it not really favoring them na nag-pick up siya at a time where they were earning more before nung mas mataas yung dollar also?
Well, the challenge kasi nung dollar is nakakonect dun sa import part Very weak yung demand talaga sa US dollar pa as of now. And plus, this is also, I predicted, di ba, sabi ko babagsak ang remittances by about 20% this year. Mukhang hindi totoo. Why? Because there's a possibility.
Resilient,
Because resilient siya. Pero, look, the number of people na natanggal, consistent eh. Ang forecast ko, 400,000. We now have about 350,000 na na-lay off. So, why is it that the peso is appreciating, remittances is increasing? Because ito yung problem natin noon, Dutch disease, no? If peso is getting stronger, yung mga tao, yung nagpapadala, will have to send more dollars. Kasi yung value ng peso niya, bawa, 5,000 ang nasa isip niyang need ng family niya, dapat ibigdala siya equivalent to 5,000. So if the peso keeps on appreciating, then increasing yung dollar na pinapadala or yung equivalent currency. Ako, ang belief ko, when the import starts to, go up again, mag-weaken uli yung peso. That the tendency is to go back up. My view, back to 51 yan next year. Kung sustained yung economic activity.
What is 2020 for you? The worst is over. Wait some more. The best is coming.
I have shrugged it off. I'm looking forward na. I'm looking forward. Kaya nga sana, we all look forward. We're not going to get that back. That back that we want. So move forward tayo. Move forward and try to overcome this confidence issue. And we all can contribute to that. It's not government alone, it's not private sector alone. All of us can contribute to addressing confidence and bringing back our own confidence.
Dr. Alvin Ang, before we close, YouTube channel, how can they reach you? What can they expect from you?
Your Everyday Economist YouTube channel.
Guys, suportahan natin, paki-like, paki-subscribe na rin para ma-update ka. Tsaka kung madami kayo natutunan sa video na to, pakipindot yung like button, tsaka comment kayo if you learned a lot para matulungan natin yung YouTube algorithm to show this video more. So, yun lang. Thank you so much, Dr. Alvin Ang, Ateneo University, to everyone. I hope you guys learned a lot from this. I hope you also enjoyed. And then kung may questions kayo, feel free to put it in the comment section. Tawid rin kayo sa channel ni Dr. Alvin Ang. Lagay nyo rin doon kung may question man kayo. And I guess that's it. I hope you got something from this, and I hope this helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. God bless you all.
Thank you. God bless.